right, good morning. It's 10:02. We'll call the Wichita County Commissioners Court to order. Everyone please rise. I'd like to call on the Honorable Ray Gonzalez to give us the invocation.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day that you have given us and many blessings in it. We thank you for this past weekend that we had, and we're able to enjoy some good weather, dear Lord. We ask that you be with our leaders in Washington, dear Lord, and that you be there and help them make the right decisions, dear Lord. We ask that you help this country as we're going through this process of selecting candidates, dear Lord, and that we get the best candidate that there is. We ask that you be with our military wherever they may be, dear Lord, and keep them out of harm's way. We thank for this beautiful day that you've given us. All this was in Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Commissioner. Y'all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the Texas Pledge.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Take your seats, please. This time we have some special guests that I would like to ask to come forward as we take a recognition of some great things that are coming along this month. I'd like to ask Ms. Patsy Baggett to come forward. Patsy worked with us for years, and many of you all may realize that Patsy's house here is named after her in recognition of her unending service so far to the children of Wichita County. And Patsy, this first proclamation is Child Abuse Prevention Month. And whereas April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, and every child deserves to grow up in a safe and secure home that gives them a life of opportunities and helps them achieve all their dreams. And whereas the Texas children are the future of our state and our country, and all necessary efforts need to be made to build valuable self-esteem and prepare these children for the possibilities that await them. And whereas with the assistance of various local organizations, agencies, and individuals, we can educate others to the signs of child abuse and help them take the necessary steps to prevention and to reap the rewards of raising a healthy and capable children. And whereas this month we emphasize the importance of understanding the devastating problems of child abuse and neglect, and the importance of all residents of Wichita County to be involved in the protection of our children and supporting parents in raising and nurturing their children in their homes. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the Wichita County Commissioners Court that Texas hereby proclaims, Wichita County Commissioners Court of Texas proclaims the month of April 2016 Child Abuse Prevention Month and encourages all citizens of Wichita County to stand united against child abuse and neglect and to join in the dedicating their energies to cherishing Wichita County's children and helping them grow free from neglect, physical, and emotional, and sexual abuse. Signed this 4th day of April in the Wichita County, Texas. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Let me just say
yes, ma'am, please.
we have several activities planned this month, and the biggest
Sorry about that. It wasn't about.
the biggest one that we have is the Walk of Knowledge, which will be held out here on the courthouse of the lawn of the courthouse on Friday. It will be a demonstration of the number of children who have had active investigations of child abuse during this year, and there will be some special displays of child deaths, and I think it will be a very interesting display of what's going on with our community with regard to child abuse and neglect. There will be hot dogs served, I understand, and we hope that all of you can come out and enjoy that.
Well, we always look forward to that.
Thank you.
It's a lot of fun and fellowship for a great reason.
Thank you.
All right.
Love to have you.
Okay, thank you. The second proclamation I have here really puts in place what the first one said. And Pat, I'd like to ask you all to come forward. You aren't going to bring Lily with you? She'll steal the show. Come on over here. Proclamation Patsy Baggett's Children's Service Award. Whereas the Patsy Baggett Children's Service Award was established by Wichita County Child Welfare Board in 1997 to recognize individuals who give outstanding service to abused and neglected children of Wichita County, Texas. And whereas Pat and Sylvia Stacy have been foster parents for Presbyterian Children's Home since 2007 and have given unselfishly of their love, devotion, energy, and resources to provide foster care for approximately 90 children and respite care for many other foster children. And whereas Pat and Sylvia Stacy provide leadership to all foster parents in the Texoma area through the Foster Parent Association, where Pat serves as president, and he coordinates Super Saturday training sessions for all foster families in this area. And whereas Pat and Sylvia Stacy consider themselves to be a foster family instead of foster parents, as they involve their own children in the fostering experience. And this family is truly exceptional advocates for children from hard places. And they prove time and time again that consistency and love truly transforms the lives of children. And whereas Pat and Sylvia Stacy are an inspiration to all who know them and recognize their years of dedication and service to the well-being of children and youth in Wichita County as well as the surrounding counties. Now therefore, the Wichita County Commissioners Court claims that the Patsy Baggett Children's Service Award for 2016 is awarded to Pat and Sylvia Stacy, and to further recognize and applaud their efforts within the North Texas communities as well as the state of Texas on behalf of all children. So proclaimed this 4th day of April 2016. Thank you all very much. Anything you'd like to say?
I'd just like to say thank you for all the supporting community. We could never be a foster family that we are without the backing of the courts, CPS, CASA, Presbyterian, all the agencies, and all of our friends, family, and neighbors. We could never do what we could do without people around us each and every day. I want to just say thank you for that.
Well, thank you all very much, and we appreciate the efforts you do with Foster Parent Association and sending in the materials so we can help you with a little bit on your all's budget. So that's great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. There are some other people here who are involved with this program. I'd sure like for y'all to introduce yourselves. Start on the front row. And no, he's not. He's one of ours.
I'm Sherry Jackson. I'm the director at Rainbow House.
Correct.
I'm Lisa Choate. I work for the Children's Agency.
All right, Lisa.
I'm Gina Fox. I am with Tina Mercy Shelter.
All right. Judge Bondurant, you work a lot with this. Both as
Judge Bondurant, I'm the judge of the North Texas Child Protection.
Okay. She's been a long time volunteer with Patsy's House and Board, all that kind of stuff. Thank you so much, Alice.
All over the
Oh, okay. All the above. Denise.
Denise Robertson, the executive director at Patsy's House.
Okay. Y'all are,
I'm Jessica Perkins, the case manager at Presbyterian.
all right. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am. There we go. Oh, yes, Rachel. Heidi back there. Okay. That's my Mrs. Claus sometimes. Okay. All right.
And I'm Janet Jackson with Child Protective Services.
Thank you, Janet. Sorry, I'm about to get wound up as a politician here in a second. We do thank you all so much. You are welcome to stay. These meetings are super entertaining, or you probably, you may be going to the dentist and looking forward to that. I don't know. But thank you all so much for what you do for our community. Well, there's Lily. Okay. All right. She made it back. Thank you all again.
I just realized I didn't look at a single bill. I didn't even look at a single bill this week. You did not.
You had it on your phone.
Gossip.
Not going to go for it, are you? Okay. Well, ask Barry.
No, he'll lie for you.
Okay. All right. I'd ask the court to take action on the consent agenda.
Judge, having reviewed the consent agenda, I'd make a motion that we pass it as presented.
Second.
Okay. One thing I would advise on item number 3, we're going to need to look at probably next Monday transferring some additional funds or recognizing. I think we start out with $150,000, and we've been advised that we're just about to hit that, so we're going to transfer some more money into that. And Commissioner Harvey, I don't know if y'all have any feel, maybe you and Lieutenant Bonner might have a feel for how much we ought to transfer. I'd rather move maybe more than we think we need. We can always transfer it back to the permanent improvement fund. But I think that y'all talk about that, let us know something.
Somewhere around 65,000, I think.
Additional, you think?
I think.
Okay, that's better than I was hoping for. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's not taken into the account that bid for the showers. That's a lot more than what we did.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll have to transfer that over, just to recognize it in that fund. It still comes out of the permanent improvement fund.
Okay.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, can you take your microphone out of your...
Oh, yeah, I put it in there a while ago.
They're always picking on
Sure,
Yeah.
making lots of noise, I know that. I don't like to have it whipped on me.
Okay. All right, we have a
They get it
motion
from there.
by Commissioner Mahler, second by Commissioner Watts to approve the consent agenda items. Anyone have any question on those items? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 1 on general business is to review and approve the emergency and regular bills for payment.
Judge, I reviewed the bills and make a motion that we pay our bills.
I'll second that, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Okay, motion by Commissioner Gonzalez, second by Commissioner Mahler to approve the bills as presented. Any comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 2 is discuss, consider, and take action to approve the lease of a Work Center 7970 copier for the District Attorney's Office, DED, at a monthly cost of $155.78 for a 60-month lease, and to approve transfer of $3,600 from 100.428.4670 lease maintenance contract software number 1 to line be paid from determined by the county auditor and authorized county judge to sign the lease agreement. Ms. Shelton, did you have anything to add to that, ma'am?
Judge, it's a budgeted item, and we've been having problems with that printer since August of last year, and along with George having the same issues too. We've been sending emails to them. They just hadn't fixed the printer, and they claimed they didn't know that it was a priority. They're off-site, and so we can't use the printers over here at the district attorney's office. They're at the annex, and so it's very important that we have a printer for them because they work nights and weekends.
Right.
And they don't come over to the district attorney's office.
Yeah, I had thought about the auditor's office, but that's, even though there's someone there often, that's not a good solution. So I think, but that could be an alternate for them during many hours.
Right, it's confidential information that they have over there with investigations and stuff, and so it's pretty important that we have a printer for them.
Yes, ma'am. I fully agree. Can I ask the court to take action on that?
So moved, Judge. Second.
If you run into that kind of thing again,
Yes, sir.
I signed that contract. Let me know that. That's not good. They're a good company, and they should be doing better than that. That's a long time to put up with that.
Yes,
Thank you. Okay, motion by Commissioner Gonzalez, second by Commissioner Watts to approve the item as requested. Any other comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 3 is discuss and consider take action to approve a quote from Texoma Heating and Air in the amount of $2,000 for cleaning ductwork at the county jail annex to be funded from Department 511 budget to appropriate line as determined by the county auditor. Commissioner Harvey, do you have anything on that?
No, I didn't know anything about this quote.
It's the units on the A side, we replaced all the air conditioners on the
Well, I
A
knew
side.
that.
Right. And we're having some issues with the ductwork. The fans are so powerful on the newer units that it's actually blowing a bunch of stuff into the housing units. The ducts have not, the ductwork and anything hasn't been cleaned in probably, what,
2004.
since 2004. So they're going to go in and deep clean all of the units, all of the ductwork, and all that stuff for all of the air conditioners at the annex, to include solitary.
And in this road is also approximately 200 feet of ductwork inside the building in solitary confinement. We have an enclosed air circulation unit. All that ductwork is also in need of being cleaned, and that's included in this road as well. So that ductwork hasn't been cleaned since probably 2004.
Well, if they'll do our filter maintenance properly, we won't need to clean the ductwork. We just need to get us a program put together and.
We change those filters every 30 days. On the internal ductwork, on the external, we're
Okay.
changed quarterly.
Okay. The external ductwork that I looked at, those filters were caked up, clogged up. I mean, it was terrible. Okay.
Well, we ought to, capture under the jail remediation expenditures, because that's part of what,
Now, are you, okay.
I know, but that's routine maintenance for that building, isn't it? 511 account? 512, okay, let's correct that, 512 then for, I couldn't recall that for sure, but it ought to be assigned to 512. Mr. Gonzalez, you start asking.
Yes, now, $2,000 is going to clean all the ductwork?
Every ductwork at the annex. All 14 or 15 units that go down into the housing units and all of solitary.
Good, okay.
Sound like a bargain to me.
Yeah, it does.
Does that include any of the ductwork in Vernon College?
No,
No.
this is just the jail.
Should we not include those units? Well, they need to be maintained just like ours do, and they belong to us.
I don't know what those units look like. I just know what ours look like, and they're disgusting.
We've never looked at any of their units.
No, I think they run their own maintenance program.
They do?
Yeah, I believe they do. They maintain those.
Right.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion then to?
So moved,
approve
Judge.
And change
Second.
Department 512. Okay. Motion by Commissioner Watts, second by Commissioner Gonzalez to approve the item as stated with the modification of changing Department 511 to 512. Any other comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 4 is discuss, consider, take action to approve a quote from Mobile Phone of Texas in the amount of $2,826 for 8 transport radios with accessories to be paid from $105.61.3209 bottled water to the appropriate line as determined by the county auditor. I did call and talk to Margaret, and they have canceled their bottled water contract, and there was not money in this line, and that she felt like that had been requested in the budget, so that's where they think is the best place to transfer that back and pay for these radios.
What do you mean, they canceled the bottled water?
Well,
We
they had a-
canceled the
go ahead.
bottled water service that was out at the annex that provided the employees that worked out there bottled water. I believe there was a thought several years ago when we were paying for several people's bottled water, not just out there, when I worked at the auditor's office, that we were going to cancel it all. And to the best of my recollection, I was told by someone that doesn't work at the sheriff's office anymore that they didn't have, like Lee Burgoyne says, they don't have clean lines, it's dirty water. And I was given that same information basically for out there, which I don't think is necessarily the truth, I'm sorry. But so we were been paying for bottled water out there for them. And then when we realized all that, we're trying to find cost cutting, ways to cut costs. I found out that wasn't necessarily what was going on. They could bring their own bottled water.
And so we canceled all the water out there. So we had the money sitting in that line that would have gone to pay the bill throughout the rest of the year that we asked to cover the cost of these radios.
Are these radios gonna be P25 compliant?
No.
There's no way.
No.
These are just for the transport officers, so they can talk to each other in the courtroom, they can talk within the courthouse, and then they've got radios that they use when they go out to transport.
But these are simplex, one-to-one. I don't think they're going through the repeater, are they, if I'm right?
Yes,
They are going through the repeater?
Yes. These are the same radios that we got in the jail a few months ago.
Well, Captain Johnson, we're looking at how many new radios?
Well, but that's down to, this is more immediate need, isn't it? I mean,
Yes.
Okay.
This is so our transport officers can talk to each other while in the courtrooms. Because right now, the only communication they have is cell phones, and you can't have a cell phone in the courtroom. So if something happens, they need to be able to get a hold of extra people, and right now, they don't have the means to do that.
Okay, somebody needs to correct that little myth, because you're not supposed to have a gun in the courtroom, but that's why they're in there. If they need to use that cell phone, I think someone's making an assumption on
They can use it in an emergency.
Yeah.
But we would rather them not have their cell phones out while they're supposed to be supervising it.
Well, correct. We
So-
shouldn't be texting somebody unless we've got an emergency. Okay.
We're thinking of hundreds of radios, once we do the mobile phone of Texas deal, or not the Motorola deal.
But
I was just thinking, could it wait?
I don't understand.
That's not jail radios.
They could be. Our radios that we're gonna be stuck with, 240 of them, that we won't get hardly any, $100 a piece on trade-in.
Coming out of service, are they
Yeah,
not?
we're gonna have 240 handheld radios that we don't have any reason to have. I was just wondering if we could wait on this until,
Well, my question is, Lisa, how does this differ? I was with David in here on Tuesday or Wednesday? Wednesday. And he was showing me how his radio in the courthouse does not work. It's handheld. And they would have to get up and go over here by the window or some deal, he and Derek, while they were trying to get reception.
Well, my cell phone doesn't work in the office. I have to come to the window when I'm in this building.
The radios that we got for the jail, the same exact radios that we're looking at ordering transport, they work. I mean, there are very, very few spaces in the downtown jail that we have difficulty hearing. It was mainly so that transport could communicate with patrol if they needed to, or communicate with the courthouse security or the jail if they needed backup or anything like that, that they could get there quickly. That was the purpose of this radio.
Yeah, I'm looking at this at $220 radio. I don't think we're talking about the same radios that the officers normally have.
Can't be.
Yeah.
No, these are not the radios that
No.
patrol will be using.
These are for very localized communications. That's why I was questioning whether they go through the repeater or not. Now, there is a repeater now for them to use between here and the annex that we had installed.
But this doesn't work off the same system that Dave and Derek were on the
I don't
other day
believe
in
so.
here? Okay.
Yeah.
well, Derek's right behind you. Derek, who?
No, these radios are not deputy radios that are going to be out in the field. They're entirely separate, and they're not going to have to be any more compliant than, I don't know if your guys use radios for local communication. I don't know, but that's what these are for, and they're not going to. If they're going to have to be compliant, then we're going to end up having to replace all the radios in the jail too, which I don't think is the intent.
My question was, once we get our new radios, we're gonna have all the radios that we own now. Could we not use those radios? And we're gonna have an abundant of,
When is that going to happen though?
I'm not sure.
I'm not either, and that's why I think probably this has a more immediate need.
They need communication, and that's why it's got the headsets and everything so that they can leave it on while they're sitting there in the courtroom without any noise going on to disrupt stuff, and they can maintain an awareness of what's going on. And they need it soon.
The radios are cheap enough. I'm just
Yeah,
thinking
and
that
they are
the
not-
ones that we carry now would be
Okay.
of higher quality.
But these are for a very localized purpose, whereas the other radios we're going to replace, these may still be in use when we do that other deal because of not having that traffic on the regular sheriff's nets to do
Lee,
that.
how does that compare to if, let's say Lisa leased radios from your refinery radio program? How would that compare, and what kind of radios are those versus what she is
Well,
requesting?
let me look at this.
Are they 4-watt or?
Mine are
That's on the
digital.
backside of
All
your.
right, I didn't see that.
Mine are digital 4-watt, but,
I'm on air conditioning.
I mean, is it better to buy them outright or like, you know,
we rent ours to the refineries for $5 a day. And that's just because they're on a short-term,
Well, it's 150 a month. That wouldn't take long to figure that one out.
that's what I'm saying, is because they're only down a month or two,
Yeah.
and they're, turn them in. But something like this, it would not be cost-effective to do that.
Okay.
Be a lot smarter to just purchase our own. But this radio that, it's not apples to apples, what I supply.
But this is what you've used in the past, correct?
I'm sorry.
You had these kind in the past.
Yeah, we have outfitted the jailers with it.
Yeah.
And to be honest, how many of those did we buy for the jail?
36.
We bought 36 of them out of the commissary fund because they're in the jail and they're for officers taking care of
Yeah.
prisoners. This particular purchase it just wasn't going to meet the requirements that are put on us for the commissary fund, or else we wouldn't even be here, but they need them.
Judge, I'd make the motion, we move forward with the purchasing of those radios.
Thanks, sir.
Second.
And I do want to comment that I'm very tickled, Margaret, that you fixed the bottled water. That's y'all will have a bunch more extra to do, different things, but that seemed like that was really aggressive water.
Well, you know, the school district hit that whole water deal off when they realized they were spending $20,000 plus on water.
Well, I think the mentality of toilet to tap was kind of,
That was before that.
was it before that?
Yeah. You were only about 5 years old, probably. But okay.
It's true.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Watts, second by Commissioner Gonzalez to approve the item as stated. Any comments, questions, anyone else? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 5, discuss, consider, take action to accept a quote from Texoma Heating and Air Conditioning in the amount of $2,937.85 for a 1.5-ton mini-split AC system for EMO office, including installation, to be paid from available Department 513 supply and operation lines by transfer to budget line as assigned by the county auditor. This is one we discussed for back in that room where they have all the radios in there. There's not enough adequate airflow back there. This would isolate that smaller air conditioner to take care of that and keep those radios in operation, because that's kind of some of the kind of heart of the system takes place through there for interconnection and interactivity.
Judge, I was visiting with Bobby Yo this morning, and I'm not 100% sure, and it doesn't point it out in here whether this includes electrical. We're dealing with a full panel over there, which is going to mean some additional electrical work to make this thing work, and I don't see it on the quote anywhere whether that's part of this or we need to consider that separate.
Okay.
But he was going to check into that today. I just got to discuss it with him this morning. He also pointed out that in lieu of the 1.5 ton, you could move that up to a 2-ton mini split system for an additional $292, and it might be advantageous to take advantage of that. But we do need to find out about the electrical, because that could be a pretty major deal if you're looking at a full panel already.
Commissioner Muller, is this not the project that Bobby said that he could go over and do in-house with the window unit?
He did, and we discussed that this morning. We talked about putting a window unit in that deal. Now, you understand that's a very unique building because it is a strand steel with a finished interior, so you've got to build a duct to put the window unit in. There's no real good place to cut a hole and mount a window unit. We're going to wind up spending probably 2/3 of this amount of money to go ahead and do that. And then you've got the noise of a window unit involved in something that's a little less professional than what we've got. But yes, we discussed that, Commissioner, and that was our original plan. I originally thought we could do that for about $600, but he said, no, it's probably looking more like, by the time you have that duct work installed and bent and put in, and then it was going to be considerably more expensive than what I thought the original numbers were.
So we're back to the unit that'll be cut into the building. Okay.
Well, and then you've got a window unit sitting right there running next to your radios with the noise and.
Well, I think you can put it far into that room, but then it's also going to have something to keep it there.
Well,
otherwise, our neighbors over there may think they have a better use for it.
Well, he said the best place to do it was in those double doors that we blocked off and that we're not using, that was the right location.
Okay.
That was from a prior use of that building, and now they've been blocked off and paneled on the inside, but that would be the place to mount it because of where it comes out on the inside. So it was going to create some. Then you've got some drainage problems and other things involved, but he said it was going to wind up being a whole lot more than what we had originally thought. We thought we could go over and, cut a simple hole and trim it out and mount it, but it's a little more detailed.
Do you want to wait and bring this back next week?
I think we need to look at that electrical. Let's pull this off till next. I'd like to get a number on that because that could be substantial if we have to set another panel. And we need to find that out and make sure that that's accounted for, because you could spend another $1,000 putting an electrical installation in, or maybe even more than that if you have to set an additional panel. So we better.
But what has changed over there?
Nothing that I know of.
Radio's been in that room for years.
Quite a while, but
and we haven't had an issue.
We've increased the number of radios. We've added 3 computers in that room, one of which I know runs all the time. I'm not sure what else, but the other thought I just had was whether an exhaust fan system to suck the hot air out of there and pull in the other air from the rest of the building might work. But the only thing is, if you isolate it down to that one air conditioner running all the time instead of the whole building running all the time, it might.
You're going to heat up the other end of the building is what you're going to do, because that one's going to overcome. It's like having a fire in your fireplace and your thermostat's in the living room.
Yeah,
it's going to be cold in the bedroom. That's kind of the way that's the way that system works. And we might want to ride over there and take a look.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea.
And I've not. Bobby O looked at it, and I trust his opinion on this. But sometimes it just clarifies a little better when you go take a look at it. That's probably not a bad. But we do need to, no matter what we do, Judge, we need to look at the electrical situation, because I didn't realize we were dealing with a full panel, but we are, and that could be a substantial. And I don't know if you can split something out or make some changes. That's something we need to investigate. So we need one more step, one more piece of the puzzle before we move on.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, we'll move to item number 6, discuss, consider, and take action to approve the services provided by. It says certified radiologist. It's nurse. It's just a nurse anesthetist to the approved list of non-mandated services. I'm going to ask we also hold this off. I talked to the doctor in charge of that this morning, and Dr. Bolnick, and they're going to review and get it down to the Medicaid rate only for a doctor to be there. They may well serve it with both, and then he even said they might have a better rate for the county than that. I said, we appreciate it, but we'll give him, he's going to meet with Nancy Townley to go over how they work that together, and then get the billing straight on that. The next question will be, does he want to credit us back for this year?
No.
He hadn't said no, because I haven't asked him yet, but I want to find out whether we're talking about enough difference. But
you haven't given him an opportunity to
say no. I haven't given him an opportunity
yet.
to be that generous yet, but I will ask Jessica to look at that for us. That started October 1st as far as their accounting for that, and it appears from their information that if we had an audit of that service, they would deny that as an indigent health care expense for the nurse services. So we may need to go back and ask them to look at that. Okay, item 7 is discuss, consider, take action to accept quote number 1, the amount of $39,349 for a 2016 Chevrolet 2500 HD Silverado 4x4 crew cab with options by board contract number 430-131 for precinct number 1 with payment from 221.2105001 capital expenditures by transfer to the budget line as assigned by the county auditor. Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes, this is to replace the foreman's truck that we had right now. It's 2000, I think it was 8.
How many miles roughly do you have on it? You know, is it?
That has way over, I'm going to say about 160,000.
It's older than an 8, right?
Well,
Isn't it?
we had a 2500 Chevrolet diesel, and we were getting it had so much miles on it, but it was still a good truck. We made that our shop truck and used one of those old Dodges that I don't know who bought those. There was 2 of them there, and they're half-ton trucks, and we just handed one of those to Leon for his foreman truck because we can't use it because it's not heavy enough.
Well, Leon's not that big.
Well, no, but
So what
his
is
is loaded down with a bunch of equipment on it, so we're wanting to replace those.
So Ray, what's the plan to get rid of the truck?
We're going to see first of all if there's anybody that can use it. They would be good for the 2 Dodges that we have could be good for the constables. Or if not, we'll just put them up for sale when we have our auction.
Did we fill our constable vacancy on that vehicle?
Well, we're working right now with Maureen to, as soon as they get everything squared away with their new vehicles, she's going to give us that one of them, which was a Dodge Durango, I think.
I believe that's right.
Yeah, for the constables, but there's always somebody else breaking down.
Well, what I had wondered whether,
And this was something I had already budgeted for the year.
depending on those pickups kind of shape with the separate maintenance men at the annex and here for the jail, whether those ought to be considerations for if you're going to sell those vehicles. Should we look at those so they have the ability to, do they have anything at the jail out at the annex or anything like that if they need to go get parts and anything like that?
I'm sorry, sir.
You've got one of your 2 authorized maintenance men.
Yes, sir.
What do they have to go get parts and things when they need them or do that?
They're using maintenance of the vehicle.
Okay.
As needed. We don't have a vehicle for it.
Okay, well, we're just talking here about he may have 1 or 2 pickups when we get this replacement one.
I think one of those would fit very well for that maintenance crew, especially when we get the other one on board.
Yeah. The only thing I would have any question about is having a foreman, how often do they haul a crew in a 4-door crew cab 2500?
There's a lot of occasions that they'll.
When they're weed eating, when they're patching. Can you put that bed on this truck like you did that other one? Your patching truck? Is this a dually?
No.
Oh, it's not a dually.
It's just a regular.
Single wheel 110.
2500.
2500 straightforward then.
And that's what all the foremans have is those 3/4 tons.
Yeah, that's true.
I was thinking that too. Is this I gotta have one too.
No, Jerry's still driving.
No,
Jerry's still
Judge,
driving the
I'm
one.
not buying a new one because just to buy one,
No, I didn't say you're doing that. I'm just wondering, you know,
we're long overdue.
okay.
I kind of remember that during the campaign. That was one of Leon's deals was, hey, I could have bought a new truck, but I didn't. I'm still driving my old junky truck. I remember that. You remember that?
Well, you didn't say junky, but he,
Well,
Vintage vehicle.
his vintage vehicle.
Okay. All right, could we get a second to the Commissioner's motion?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Okay, a motion by Commissioner Gonzalez, second by Commissioner Harvey to approve the purchase of this vehicle. Is that going to be just a straight cash payment on that, or how?
Yes.
Okay. All right, any other comments or questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, discuss and review jail work orders. Still looking better this week.
They had a good week last week.
It sure looked that way.
I told Tony it was the first time in several months that, I think it's the first time we've gotten over 30 work orders done in a weekend since we've started tracking.
Who all's working out there right now other than that new maintenance guy?
Tony, Gilbert, the new maintenance guy that we have, and I believe Dan from time to time based on what problems he can get into.
I had a question on work order number 6586. Okay, I'm sorry, I misread. The toilet flushes very slowly, could not adjust. Wait a minute. I thought there was one running all the time.
Yeah, there is on
Yeah, there it goes. I don't know where it's going, but it's running all the time. Given the cost of water, that just seems...
If I can interrupt, Judge, when
Yes,
we have
sir.
one that runs constantly, they fill out the work order, it's running constantly, we go right behind them. If they don't shut the water off, we shut it off to it. It doesn't continue to run. But when I put them in on the sheet, I put them in exactly the way they're reported to me.
All right.
I don't allow water to run if it can all be avoided.
Okay. But
So what happened is, so this toilet's out of order now? Is this like in one of the tanks?
this is a day room.
If it says day room, then there would be 2 other toilets right there with it. We have 3 toilets per day room. In the annex downtown, I believe we have 2 toilets. But we also have toilets in every single cell downtown also. So we could shut down 1 or 2 and be all right, but we can't lose too many.
Okay. Does it just need the guts changed out on it?
Most of the time, yes, sir.
Do those come in just a little kit, by the
Yes,
kit?
sir.
We have some of those?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We're keeping actually an inventory on that stuff now. I think Mark's Plumbing is really liking Wichita County this year.
They quit making stuff that went out of date. We wouldn't have to sole source that stuff, but they don't.
When they come do a jail inspection, do they take in consideration, like, if you have something that's broke down and you have a work order on it, are you, well, in the military say, are you gigged for that? Or do they overlook that because it's in the process of being fixed? I mean, in the Army, all you have to do is tag, like in the arms room where I was at, if there was a rifle that was messed up, we could tag it, and when they did an IG inspection, they wouldn't
Hold it against you.
hold it against.
I certainly don't want to speak for the jail inspector, but in my experience, yeah. as long as we have a work order filled out on it, then that's normally not counted against us. Now, I know that they do look at how long that work
I was
order
going to
has been
say,
open.
Okay.
if it's been there for 3 years, I think you're going to be held accountable.
Yeah, they do look at how long an issue has been open, which I know if you look at some of our 2015 work orders, we've got some that have been open 250 days, 300 days. Those are being worked on as we speak. And the reason that those have been open as long as they've been open is because some of them are really complex issues. You know, you see one that says lights out above 7.6 that's been open for 260 plus days. Well, that's because we've got a whole bank of lights out. It's not just one light, it's actually a whole bank of lights. And that is an electrical issue that has been fixed numerous times, but we've got a short somewhere in the circuit. And we've actually had multiple electricians come out and look at it, and it's still a problem. And I won't pull it off of the sheet until a problem is fixed and remains fixed.
On this 6161, it says cell 9 opens when local panel is closed, but closes when the panel is opened. Wouldn't you suspect there's a wire cross somewhere? I mean, how would that get that way? I mean, was somebody working on it and hooked it up backwards?
Can you tell me what page you're on, sir?
On the short list on the back. It's 6161.
4 or 5, that's one of our downtown housing areas. And that's probably by far one of the older electrical systems we have. These are not easy to track because you have local controls at the door that work in sync with controls in the control room. And when you have a circuit go bad, it can go bad at the door, it could go bad in the panel, it could go bad in the ceiling, it could go bad at the door. Very, very complex for maintenance to track down those issues. The last time we had one that a rectifier went out on, we actually drove to Lawton to pick up the rectifier because it was the closest place that had one, and it was a Radio Shack that we went and got it from. The parts are hard to find, and sometimes the problems are super hard for them to locate. It's a very aging system.
Well, it would just make me think with somebody working on it, got the wires hooked up backwards, I mean, that's the first thing that would come to my mind. If I've got a tractor and I turn the wheel this way and the wheels turn that way, I'd think they had the hoses crossed. And that's happened, I've seen that happen. But I just jumped out and it's like, and I guess my question was somebody working on that and then it started doing that, or did it just, I don't know how it starts doing that just on its own. That's kind of interesting.
I wish I could answer that question for you, sir, but until you look at the blueprint drawings of the cell doors.
Yeah, I'm not expecting you to be an electrical engineer. It's just curious to me the way.
Lee suggested getting a magic marker and scratch it out and put switch them.
Open is now closed and closed is now open.
No, but, yeah. The first shall be last and the last shall be, no, that's another, okay.
And I think we should use a label making machine. It looks a lot more professional.
Okay. Yeah.
I have one of my dad's.
Well, we're hitting
You know, something that
we're hitting new heights.
comes to my mind as you look at these, and once again, congratulations to maintenance and jail staff and all, to see this list shrink is a very positive thing. And that's good news, but this is something to keep in mind as we move forward with our jail plan, whatever that might be. There are certain things you can do when you design something and build it to make it maintenance friendly. And Bobby Yo and I were having that discussion this morning. There's some of these things, and he was mentioning some things over at the Juvenile Detention Center that he said when that thing was built, he said they've got plumbing in a closet and there's no way you can get in there to work on it. And I thought, we need to really have maintenance look at any plans we've got moving forward to make it as serviceable as it can. Makes a huge difference on being able to do maintenance and move forward. A lot of times just a few little changes really make a big difference.
We have a 4-inch line right now downtown here. We're actually going to have to break out part of the wall to get to it because it's leaking. And when they built the jail, they just encased the security wall all the way around the room and left us no place to get in to get to the pipe. So we're actually going to have to break out part of a brick wall to get to the pipe.
My point is, we really need to watch our plans from a maintenance perspective, and really, it would really make a difference into the future if we had the thing as maintenance friendly as you possibly can. But yeah, it was just a thought.
Modern materials are going to change a lot of that.
Absolutely, they are.
Well, and that, my thought, what Darrell just mentioned, is it not possible to sleeve that pipe that you've got in the wall with poly and catch it on both ends? To drop down to 3-inch or 2.5 poly line and come through your
You're doing
problem.
a lot of that nowadays.
I wish I could. You've lost me somewhere along the way, sir. I'm not a.
You got a 6-inch pipe, just reduce it
Put the
down,
insert in.
break it on each end, put something smaller that'll go through it, and then
It's how they're
leave the
fixing
wall on.
nearly all the slab leaks now are, I think.
You know, I don't know. I seriously don't know if we can do that. It's a water pressure issue, and we're already dealing. We're already 50 feet off above ground level, being up on the 4th floor.
Well,
the
size
water-
pipe won't affect pressure. Does not.
Not at all.
Like I said, outside of my pay grade, I see a leaky pipe. I've got to get a leaky pipe fixed.
Yeah. But that is becoming the standard to fix slab leaks and things you can't access, and they're doing some really good things with new materials, as Lee said. Interesting.
Yeah, the pipe you're replacing, nobody installs that anymore, truthfully, for a lot of different projects, so it's worth looking at and see if, it may have too many bends or whatever the problem, but certainly worth looking at.
On that 5897 in the jail side visitation, is there, when somebody goes in to visit somebody, are they monitored, or is there a deputy or a jailer there?
Yes, sir. As staffing allows, you've got a jailer that works in visitation, and he deals with the front lobby. He or she deals with the front lobby. They also deal with the visitor side that has 9 to 10 or 12 people in it, and they deal with the inmate side over here as well. In the past, this acoustic material is actually the acoustic tiles that have been glued to the wall, and that's already in the process of being replaced. Our trustee officer will be replacing that.
Oh, okay.
The trustee facility maintenance worker will be replacing it.
Okay. I was thinking it was the visitors tearing it up.
No, the reason that this is still open is, to be honest with you, we'd rather have our maintenance guys working on things that they need to be working on. And when our remediation guy goes back out to the jail, this is something that he can work on. So it's just prioritizing it based on where we need the staff to be working at.
Well, we're all very familiar with what it takes to do maintenance on your home. And there's constantly a doorknob that's broke or a light switch that's not functioning or...
Don't say that.
Yeah, okay.
I was supposed to call a plumber.
Yeah.
For my house.
Well, and my point is when you get the kind of 365, 24-hour-a-day use that this thing has with people that really don't want to be there and really don't care whether it is taken care of or not, you can see where maintenance is a tremendous issue because, I mean, once again, it happens on our own property. It's under normal everyday use. So this is industrial use, industrial plus, I would say, because of the clientele, and you can see why the maintenance is such a big issue and very difficult situation.
So then when you said that, I think Willie and I talked this morning, and we're going to try this week to get out those bid requests for the different services, because on a couple of those, we've got to be hitting real close to the 50,000 mark. So
yeah. It's an expensive deal to maintain something that has this kind of use. This is, as I say, this is heavy duty. But a lot of progress has been made, and that's good. Continue to move in the right direction.
Okay, anything else on the work orders? Okay, we're down to public comment. Anyone in the audience have anything to bring up? Okay, Commissioners.
Mayor, on the work orders, is there anything that you need from us?
Are you Wednesday?
No, sorry, no, it's fine.
Would you be
If there's something pops up, just call me.
over to Mary Florsham's for to create the position?
I've got Dr. Desiree at 3, but I should be through. But I know.
Okay. Y'all have anything to put out?
I'll send you this.
Yeah.
Pretty good cook you led this weekend, sir.
I didn't lead it. I just was there. I don't know.
Yeah, you did.
Credit goes to our
I
guys.
remember when the phone call came and they were looking for somebody to come and prepare a meal. And our own Commissioner Harvey said, you know what? He said, I'll put a team together and we'll do them all. And that's exactly what happened. And it was well done and well received. And,
It was a great time.
it was a great, great event.
Well, I got General Daugherty was up there and in uniform the first day, and he came up in his redneck culinary academy stuff the next day.
And fit right in.
And fit right in. But he and I happened to be talking to two young men that just gotten off a helicopter.
Yeah.
One of them was a multiple amputee on both legs. The other one was one I was pretty sure of. I recognized his old unit, 2nd Ranger Battalion, and they had shot 35 hogs and 2 coyotes between the two of them in an hour flight. And the general said, he said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you count it? He looked at him and said, a 30. He said, I came here from North Carolina. He said, I'm going to do my best to get back here next year. The people with Siempre Gratis, Mike Burgess, Jerry Bob, what he and his wife did. I mean, that was
Sergeant Major.
And Sergeant, but I'm talking about those outside of the military. But the two command chiefs from out at Shepherd, the general, Greg, the other wing commander. I mean, they were there. They were hands on deck, but they were out there with the soldiers. Chief Reese, Chief Borrego, Mayor Barham. It was a good turnout of people, and Commissioner Mahler and I were, I think that was our conversation, were about, who'd you say that to? Could they imagine this many county officials? Oh, you were talking to the general.
Right.
And just said that wasn't, he said.
Where else?
Yeah, city, county, everybody there. And his comment was, you understand that doesn't happen everywhere.
That's right.
And
it did here.
Yeah. What was funny, we did something like that with, I was looking for white vehicles with the red and blue stripes on them, because there's not much happens. Now, that was that was 100 miles away, so maybe the sheriff felt like that was a little out of his area. But there's no doubt that if they'd been asked, they'd have been there. And
they were asked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, they were asked to be there, but not in that kind of force.
Not on duty.
No, not on duty. But
Right.
there's not much happens in Wichita County that the sheriff doesn't have an official presence at in supporting of that.
Sure.
So it was a good effort. The tax assessor was up there also. Was there? I'm trying to think if I'm leaving anybody out.
Just a bunch of people.
But then a bunch of good people from around here.
Well, Claire, you know that when we're not on Commissioner's Court, my choice of clothing is European pocket pants. So when we put our little cooking crew together, we decided that the uniform of the day was going to be roundhouse blue bib overalls, a white collared shirt, and our apron. And I thought we was going to have to hold Glenn Barham down and put them britches on him, because he fought it tooth and nail. It was a lot of fun. But to see the general and the commander of the 80th and Mayor Baum, Manuel Borrego wearing bib overalls, it was great.
It wasn't his first time to wear those either. They were fairly faded.
I think he bought stonewashed.
Okay. Well, I bought mine on how many years ago at Browse Shop, and made the mistake last time I sent them, they got them mixed in with the starch stuff. Well, that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
But,
I think the Browse Shop and Atwoods did a good business this last week or
yeah,
two.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was it was certainly work, and it looks like it's going to happen again next year. Did they commit to that there or not?
I believe so. Our next cook is going to be for the Forestry Service at Camp Perkins towards the end of this month. They're bringing in volunteer fire departments from all over the region. They got a week-long school, and I think our intention is to go.
We've got some county people going to train. Too,
yes, we do. We're going to send some. It's for firefighting in the rural parts of our counties, with a dozer, maintainer, back burning, stuff like that. The Forestry Service puts on a really good school. We're going to support that not only with some of our county equipment that we use to fight fires on a regular basis, but we're also going to support it with our culinary academy.
You know, and the great part about that, Lee, is everybody on that cooking team paid dues to help support it. There were no public funds involved. It was all donation and
absolutely
right
at $7,500.
People stepped up, and a lot of businesses donated, and each individual that was a member of that team donated. And
absolutely,
you have to buy your spot on that on that team. So it worked out great. One of the greatest things that I saw was when I got up there Thursday evening, and a lot of the attendees, the wounded, we call them wounded warriors, and we don't want to necessarily associate that with the official group. There is a group called Wounded Warriors, but our veterans. And when they came in, some of them were a little reserved. They didn't know exactly how to deal with a bunch of rednecks with overalls on. But as the weekend,
it didn't take them long.
As the weekend went along, though, did you see how they opened up, and they all of a sudden you had all kinds of conversations going on, and you could just see the progress as the time went by.
I want to talk a little bit about Patrick, the guy that was in the wheelchair and didn't have any legs. When he first got there, you couldn't get him to say boo at a snake.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he was so just
quiet.
Yeah. And I noticed that he would wait until everybody else got through the line before he would try to come up there, because he felt like him and his wheelchair were kind of in the way, you know. And anyway, by the end of the weekend, dadgum, I don't think he ever shut up. It was great, you know. He really came around and started cutting up and visiting with everybody and telling his buddy that he couldn't hit the broadside of the barn. You know, he missed 2 or 3 pigs, and just really saw a transformation in Patrick, and that just made it worth it. You know, right there, just made it worth it. So
the legendary Bobby Knight was there Friday evening. All the Texas Tech fans, and told some very, very funny stories.
Tell them about the chair.
Well, Lynn Landrum, one of the team members, came up with the idea that one of Bobby Knight's antics that he pulled, especially when he was at Texas Tech, was he was known to throw a folding chair on the side of the basketball game.
He got fined a couple times for it, too,
fined a couple times. So Lynn Landrum gets a folding chair and a Sharpie and goes and has him sign it. So we've got an autographed signed chair that's going to be sold to support the
Junior Livestock Show and FFA
this next year, and some Texas Tech guys are going to love to have it. I've got a picture of Bobby Knight signing that chair, so we've got an autographed Bobby Knight chair to sign to support the young people of Wichita County. That's the kind of group we have. Always thinking ahead, what can we do, who can we help? Yeah. That's the kind of people that were on duty this weekend.
Too bad didn't have it already painted red with the Tech emblem.
It really was. Well, we're going to do a Texas Tech photo, a frame to go put the picture in.
Oh, okay.
That'll be part of it, so we'll have the picture to go with it. And but just pretty neat kind of a deal. It really was.
It was pretty cool.
Not bad at all.
We did kill 1,068 hogs and 152 cows.
Wow, I didn't know.
Okay, I agree. I thought the number I got last night was 1,600 and something 8, because I remember adding the two of them together thinking that was all pretty good, but
the number I got from the boys in the control room was 1,068.
Okay.
And that may have been...
That is right, because they were only at 620 on Saturday night.
Yeah, first time.
Yeah. At the end of the first hunt, there were 648 hogs been killed, and they did report on cows. But at the end of it, was 1,068 hogs and 152 cows. And
You know,
Jerry Bob is not a happy camper that we shot all them cows.
Yeah, he's
He
tired.
loves to go wolf hunting.
Really?
Yeah.
There's plenty more of them.
And for anybody that doesn't really understand the wild hog phenomena, they are a tremendous menace to this area. And it's not like we're out shooting domestic hogs or anything. They are not native to this country. They've been imported here. They are a tremendous menace. They do millions of dollars worth of damage.
They can wipe out 20 acres of wheat overnight.
Absolutely. They're a terrible menace, and they're trying to cut them back to a manageable supply. So it's not like we're out, terrorizing domesticated animals, because we're certainly not. And in fact, there's a program statewide to try to eradicate them.
There's a contest among
Yes.
counties, and but the other thing is they can be very dangerous to people. They were talking about one of the local farmers got out of his pickup near his tank to check something, and Sal grabbed him, had 400 and some odd stitches.
Yeah, they're dangerous. And in the first hunt that we had in this part of the country a number of years ago, they put a ground team down to test them and pull blood, and they are a major carrier of pseudo-rabies. So that is a problem, and there's a lot of that in that herd. So
That normally can annihilate domestic pigs, but they have learned to, they've adapted to it, and somehow they're a carrier of it.
So we don't want any mistake that, we're out abusing domesticated animals, because we're not. This is something the state of Texas is involved in, trying to get them eradicated.
Well, I asked Jerry Bob Daniels if he had a problem with PETA or somebody like that to let me handle it, because last time I was on the beach, I almost got in a fist fight with some lady from PETA. I told her, I said, "Look, lady, you pour water on me one more time."
Did she think you were a beached whale?
Judge, we better move on.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
I wasn't able to make it. I was out watching my grandson pitch a shutout.
That's
and
awesome.
That was his first one in college.
But you did donate and help buy food for all that stuff. Yeah, you were there.
Zach Murphy, former Wichita Falls Coyote star.
Yep. It was great to see that happen. Yeah.
That's cool.
Outstanding.
All right, we are going to have two different things for work sessions this afternoon, starting at 1:30. We're going to receive a briefing on a company that's working with the state on looking at electrical savings for us on our air handling, and then also we're going to receive a briefing. That'll be the first one at 1:30 with Mike Strong from Texas Association of Counties on insurance solutions for us.
Judge, I've
Yes,
got
sir.
a quick question. We have mutual assistance meeting tomorrow. Can you speak to that, about what that is?
Well, I can when I look it up and see why.
Is that a work session?
I'm not sure.
What is that?
Oh,
I didn't
that's
realize
just
that
you and me
printing
with
a shutout was
Encore
that big
to
a deal.
discuss some electrical solutions.
Okay.
And she got to shut up.
And that's a great,
Yeah.
what,
They
would
did.
it be okay
Zero.
if I substituted Barry for myself
And
at
they won
4:30
1 to
on
nothing.
Wednesday with Henry?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm here
Okay,
at 3 anyway.
okay.
So that'll work.
Yeah. I need you at that meeting tomorrow because it's
Yes,
germane to your
no
precinct.
problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Judge, one other thing. I get the honor of being with our neighbors in Baylor County tomorrow for their regular Ag Day seminar in Seymour. And I have been the master of ceremonies there. This will be the 26th year for that Ag Day event. I was the first one we had. So we're not going to miss. We're going to go have dinner with our neighbors in Baylor County or lunch and celebrate their Baylor County Ag Day. Looking forward to it.
I want to pitch out something. We've got a local gentleman in Burke Burnett. His name is Danny Griner. And he has a paint body shop there. And
Painter par excellence.
I'm telling you, he's amazing. His work is amazing. But he used to do all the stuff for Eddie Hill and a lot of the race cars. He still does a bunch of really specific, high quality cars and
Restoration
stuff. Yeah. Anyway, Danny got sick. It's been probably 3.5, 4 months.
And his gallbladder got infected or something where they needed to have gallbladder surgery. Well, they couldn't do the surgery because he was septic. He had a huge infection in his body. Then he got pancreatitis. Long story short, he spent 3.5 months in the hospital thinking every day that Danny was going to die.
Yeah.
And he's self-employed. I think he did have some insurance, but the men's ministry from the First Baptist Church there in Burke Burnett, we're going to try to help raise some funds to help Danny and his family just offset some medical costs or just pay their regular bills because, he's not working. So we bought 600 whole chickens.
John was telling me this. Didn't y'all meet last night about?
We did, and they're all at my shop, and
Live chickens?
No, Watts said, Lee, would you help me deep fry some turkeys for Thanksgiving? I said, sure. He pulls up in a stock trailer with 32 live turkeys in the back of that trailer. I said, you gotta be kidding me. You said you would. Oh, these are frozen. Anyway, we're gonna try to sell them for $12 a piece. We're gonna be at the first, Fidelity parking lot right next to United Supermarkets. Fidelity is gonna let us set up there in their parking lot on Saturday and sell these whole chickens and try to raise some money for the Griner family there in Burke Burnett. And I would be tickled to death if you guys would come by and buy some chicken. It'll help a great family.
And pay anything you want to for them.
Yeah.
Last time we did it for a young lady who had cancer, and Len Landrum come up. He said, give me $300 worth of chicken. We went, holy smoke, he said, no, give me 3 chickens, there's $300. So there's no telling how much, we can help this family.
And on that note, so they'll show Nancy, if you'll know, the Mascats are selling Vidalia onions. And I bought all of us in this department a bag of Vidalia onions, Willie, so be on the lookout. They're going to deliver them up here, but that is those are great to cook with, and just, they're tremendous.
Sweet.
But if you get an opportunity to see
Are you going to smoke them or what?
Yeah, I'm going to smoke the chickens.
someone from that, Brad was on, Rogers was on TV about it, and
Eat them like a peach. They're good.
What time is that going to be on Saturday?
I think it's going to be starting at 10 o'clock.
How long it takes them to cook 300?
No, we're going to do that on Friday night to where they're, I think it's going to start, I believe, at 10. There's a flyer that I left, my phone's on my desk, but I believe it's going to start at 10, and we'll just stay there till we don't have any chickens left. Eddie Hills will be there signing, Eddie and Nursey both. They're going to bring some, I guess, glossies, whatever you call them, 8x10s, and Eddie's going to sign some autographs and take some pictures with folks. And at one time, Eddie Hill was the fastest man on land and water, and he resided right here in Wichita Falls. So good.
And he was handicapped on the water probably.
How do you figure that?
Because there wasn't enough water here most of the time.
Okay. He reached over 300 miles an hour in a boat. That's hauling. That's hauling it, brother. Yeah. Well, Ersie was skiing.
Was she skiing? Okay.
Used to be a bunch of pictures down at Eddie Hills, that 8x10 pictures, and it was just like, but they displayed it, and you could see the boat, him going fast, and then you see the boat starting to disintegrate, and then when you get down to the other end of the pictures, the only thing you could see was Eddie Hills in his helmet and the motor of that boat about 5 or 6 feet apart. They were still on top of the water.
Going end over end.
No, they were just yeah, and it was like, I hope that motor didn't hit him, but apparently he's all right. But a living legend from Wichita Falls, absolutely.
Well, Cowboy True ended up on Saturday night with their big auction and all. They probably raised better than $20,000 on that.
That's awesome.
Cheryl Williamson's dinner for 24 went at $5,100. That's why it's some good food. But at her ranch.
We hope we'll get invited.
Yeah.
So, I think you'd have to get, there were a number of people submitted their application to go in right there. So don't think so. Anything else? All right, it is 11:17, and we are recessed to reconvene at 1:30.
That's in Burke.
Yeah, it's a